Hey everybody, Epic Eddie here. This is another Real Talk Tuesday, and I'm so happy to be with you guys here again. The feedback and response again has been awesome, so I do want to thank you guys. If you have not liked or subscribed this video yet, please make sure you press that button at the bottom, and that way I can start to do this more and more often. I'm really excited for today because it's a topic that that is we're gonna get into some stuff. Okay, so first off, we gotta have some tequila. We're definitely gonna need it for this one. This is actually super exciting though. So, a little story. I went to the liquor store the other day, just grabbing some stuff for my buddies. We were just gonna have some beers and hang out. I happened to be looking for a new tequila to have for you guys today. I looked over to the left and I see this poster of one of my friends out here in Vegas. He goes by the name of AP, and he's been, working on making some other moves to open up some new stuff. And I saw him with his bottle of tequila. And it was interesting because I was looking up at the tequilas and I noticed one. I said, I've never seen that one before. And then I looked over and saw the poster of AP. And then I looked and I went, oh shit, that's AP tequila. So I decided to go ahead and get this. So shout out to my boy AP. This is his tequila here. This is, if I make sure I pronounce it right, Comisario. This is the Anejo? Yeah, the Anejo. So I'm actually really excited to try this. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Cheers to UAP. Now, I'm hoping this is good because I judge fairly. That's actually really smooth. And that's yeah, that's super smooth. That's really good, actually. Okay, P. I see you, brother. Yeah, that's actually really good tequila. Super smooth. It has almost a sweet kind of flavor to it, like a nice mix of sweet and smoky to it. That's really good. That's good. That's really good. That's really fucking good. All right, so this talk kind of came about because this is something that I talk about quite a bit, and especially after the past few years that I've had, and that's just how time is the biggest currency or most important currency, especially to me. Here's the thing. I didn't grow up with much of anything, and in the past few years, I've been doing very well financially, and so that's been such an absolute blessing. But when you start making more money, you start to realize that money, isn't everything. They have that old saying that money can't buy happiness. I mean, definitely helps when you don't have to worry about shit. But I will say that, it's definitely doesn't buy happiness at all. And then you also learn if you lose money or you spend money, like you can always make more. So money to me now has not become a big commodity. Money's going to help me and my family do things. So it's not that it's not important, but it's something you can always get back. Same thing with material things. I actually had recently, unfortunately, got my work iPad stolen, and that sucked. It sucks. Now, thankfully, they were able to give me a new one, and we got that all straight. But that's the thing. Things can be taken, things can be lost, things can be given away, but you can always get those things back. The one thing that you can never get back is time. And that's why time is such a big currency to me. And the reason I want to kind of talk about this is because I've, over the years, unfortunately wasted my time on a lot of people. I've also wasted a lot of time not doing things or pursuing things that I've wanted to do. And again, time is something you can never get back. I always try to tell people that when I give people my time, that's something that's super important to me. And it's my biggest pet peeve when somebody wastes it. And by that, I mean, like, for example, if I decide, hey, we're going to spend some time together and something comes up, that's okay. That happens. That's life. But when you start to try to continuously give yourself or give someone your time, and excuses always come up, or they're always bailing on you, or always something is happening and it's like a consistent thing, then that's when they're wasting your time. And you shouldn't give any more of that time. Now, I am guilty of continuously trying to make that time for those people. Not because I think that they're worth the time anymore, because at that point, no. But because I just really want them to admit that they're just not interested in spending that time, which is okay. But I just think people need to start being more honest with each other and upfront with things. And it's an unfortunate thing because nowadays just people, they just want to kind of ghost or disappear, then be able to actually have an adult conversation about why it is they don't want to spend that time. Because, I mean, it could be something that they're dealing with, which is okay too. But at the end of the day, if you see them not wanting to take time with you and they're still taking time with other people, then it's not about the time, it's about you. And it's unfortunate, but that's the reality. You have to just really be aware of people's actions and what they're doing. Like they said, actions speak a lot louder than words do. So if they're making time for others and they're not making time for you, then stop wasting your time trying to make that effort. You know, it's such a balance between trying to make an effort and show somebody that they're worth that effort, and then realizing that effort is in vain and that you need to stop wasting your time as well. And so that's where the balance comes in. So you have to give yourself boundaries, borders, deadlines for people. If they're not going to use that time, there's other people who are going to want to value your time. And that's the people you need to make the time for. Now, here's the thing. Life is life, and things are going to come up. There are things that you're going to put your time and effort into, and it's going to be a waste in the long run. There's going to be people that you invest your time in, it winds up not working out. That's okay. I don't necessarily consider that a waste of time, just because you wind up learning a lot about yourself and a lot about the world, and you get to learn lessons from it. You know, I've had romantic relationships, I've had friendships that unfortunately did not stand the test of time, and that's okay, because there are things that I got from it, whether it be who not to waste my time on again. I learned to love aspects of myself that I probably wouldn't if I wasn't involved with those people, you know. And so there's good and bad that you kind of get from everything. Make the time that doesn't pan out lessons learned, and then also just make sure that you take advantage of the time you can. We all get the same 24 hours in a day, but you can really tell where people's priorities lie by where they spend their time. And sometimes you have to face the fact that maybe you might not be that priority, which again is okay. There's millions and billions of people in this world. So sometimes you have to chalk those people up to a loss, or just thanks, I didn't waste my time. And then just begin to meet other people. Find the people who vibe with your vibe, or find the people who have visions that are similar to yours, or goals that are similar to yours. Because what you're going to do is find the people you want to surround yourself that's going to allow you to make the most of your time and make it more efficient and make yourself more successful and happier. That's the key. Like, that's such the key of life, is just the happiness, you know? And if you're around people that aren't making you feel that way, then stop wasting your time with those people. And you also have to realize that some people aren't just made to be in your life, and enjoy the moments you can while you can. Enjoy the time you can while you can. And then when it's their time to go, it's their time to go. And it's a new chapter for you. And it might not necessarily mean those people are bad people. It could just mean that you've outgrown them. And that happens sometimes. There are going to be some people who grow with you and some people who are going to stay behind. My mom almost always raised me with this saying. She said, "You'll never find time. You have to make time." And that's something she always said to me when I was always saying, well, you know, I got to find the time to do this and I got to find the time to do that. If you really look at what you're doing in 24 hours of a day, there's a lot of time spent not really doing much anything, or wasting time on dumb stuff. If you really look at your life, you can make the time for people. I don't mind making it more convenient for people to spend time. Or if we need to get something done, or they have to get something to me, I don't mind driving to them. I don't mind swinging by after I get off of work. Oh, hey, let me stay up a little bit later and I'll go spend time with you, even though I'll be maybe a little tired in the morning. If somebody's worth my time, I'll do that. But that also goes in the other direction. You have to realize some people don't think you're worth that time. It doesn't mean that you aren't worth it. It doesn't mean that you aren't worthy of that time. It just means they don't prioritize you. And if that's the case, then that type of person doesn't need to be in your life. Put people in your life who value your time and value you as a person. But you also need to know your own worth. You know, that's the other thing too. You need to make sure you make time for you. And I think a lot of times we don't do that. We try to make so much time for so many other things that we don't take time to really take care of ourselves. Can't take care of other people if you don't take care of you. So you need to make time for that as well. Again, find out what's healthy time that you're using for yourself and unhealthy time. I battled and still battle a lot with depression, and that's something I'll probably dig into on another Tuesday. I find myself wasting a lot of time just doing bullshit. Not using that time productive. So unfortunately, while on one hand it is time for me that I'm taking, I'm not being productive with it. You know, it's kind of a thing you might need to maybe make time for other people to kind of fill you up again. You know, the other day I was still feeling kind of down in the dumps. And two of my really good friends were like, hey, Eddie, just come on over, man. Just come have a beer, just hang out. We'll play some video games, like with some Wheel of Fortune and Super Smash Brothers, and we'll just chill. And it's not that I didn't want to hang out with them, but again, I was in that slump, but I pulled myself up and I said, all right, just force myself to go, and I know I'm going to have a good time there. And I did. It was refreshing. It's what I needed. I needed to be engaged and laugh and talk with people and just enjoy myself and have a good time to feel recharged, And so sometimes you just got to realize, like, some people are just trying to make time for you because they just want to be in your life for a little bit. And so make time to allow people to care about you. Make time to allow people to love you. I think sometimes we don't think we're worthy of love, or that we're not worth being made time for. And in turn, we just don't make the time for those people. And what we don't realize is it's not just us we're hurting and kind of make other people feel not worth it. It's just a cycle that doesn't feel good when people don't feel like they want to make time for you. And if you don't want to spend time with somebody, have the decency, just let them know, hey, you know what? I enjoy when, we bump into each other and we kind of hang out like that. But, I don't really think that we're that close to really kind of make time and spend time with. It sucks. It's not a fun conversation to have, but at least that way they actually know, so they don't continue to waste that time. I have made it a conscious effort now that I've decided that I'm going to stop wasting time and pushing that effort to people who cannot make time for me. I will make the initial effort. I'll try to make the initial time. If things come up, that's okay. But once it becomes an obvious, consistent thing, I'm not going to waste my time anymore trying to make that effort. I have a lot of love to give. I have a lot of friendship to give. I have a lot of effort that I don't mind putting into building a relationship, whatever that type of relationship might be. But I'm not going to put that effort anymore, even if it's just to try to prove a point, which is usually what I try to do. But time's just too fucking short to waste your time on that stuff, man. I learned that this year when my mom passed, because, we think we get all the time in the world, and we have a tendency to push things back, and then all of a sudden something bad happens, and then we don't ever get that time again. One thing I really wished was that, I had the opportunity to spend one last moment with my mom, or be able to spend one last birthday, or hug her one more time, or see her one more time. That's the one thing that I just constantly gets at me, is because that's all I want to do, man. I just wish I had more time with her, but I can't anymore. I'm not going to waste effort on people who can make the time and don't. It's not worth it, because there's so many more people that will. And I feel like you should just make the time for the people who are here while they're here. One of my favorite rappers right now, Lucas Joyner, he made that song about Will Smith, and just kind of how, that was his hero, idolized him. And he says in there, we should give the flowers to people while they're still alive and not when they're dead. And that shit hits, man, because it's true. We go to a funeral and we say all these nice things, and oh man, how I wish I could have this, and they were such a great person. I wish I could have had more time with them, but you could have. And the reason I stress this so much is because one of my really good friends, whose name is Kush, him and his twin brother Love, shout out to Love and the family, man. This was back a few years ago, and Kush and I had worked together, and he always kept saying, he was like, man, we got to spend more time together. We need to hang out more. We would always make excuses. Something would always come up, and we're like, next time though. But I was making time for people who wasn't worth the time. People who were toxic in my life, people who obviously didn't appreciate me and appreciate the time that I gave. I was making time for these people, but I couldn't make time for him, and I could have, and I just don't know. I wasn't making a conscious effort, and finally we decided we were going to, and we said, you know what? We're going to spend this time on this day. Next week, that's what we're going to do. And then I wound up spending time with him, but it was at his funeral. That weekend, unfortunately, he got into a car accident, and he passed. He wasn't even 30 yet, man. And it's nuts to me, because I could have made more time. And that's why I've been so adamant about trying to make time for people that I think are worth the time, or that are trying to make an effort with me. But after a while, if they're not trying to make that time too, then I can't waste it on those people, because my time's precious. So make the time for the people who are important. Make the time for the people who reach out. And if they're not somebody you want to spend the time with, that's okay. But let them know. Now, I'm not talking about the random Joe Schmo that slid into your DMs and was like, hey, I want to spend some time. No, bro, I don't know you. But I'm talking about people you genuinely know. Maybe you haven't hung out a bunch, but you enjoy the company and time that you spend when you did, and they've been trying to reach out to spend more time. Give them the time. Or if you don't want to give the time, at least have the courtesy to let them know. Now, if they flip out and they're acting all fool after that, then that's on them. But you did the right thing to at least let them know. And nobody's perfect. You know, I'm probably guilty of it too, and there's probably people that have tried to make effort with me. I mean, shit, just with my friend that I told you about, I could have made a better effort, and I didn't. You live and you learn. But that's why I want to talk about this, is so that we can hopefully learn from like mistakes that I've made, or just kind of do a self-check and be conscious and say, you know what, maybe I'm doing this with these people and I need to make the time for them. Time is the most valuable commodity that you have. I want to thank you guys for all the support. I am thinking about doing soon maybe either a live like Q&A type thing so we can just talk about some real shit. Actually, you know what? This is what we're going to do. What I want to do is I want to hear from you guys. So either drop in the comments below any kind of sub questions you have of me, whether it be general questions about life that you would like just kind of want to hear me what I have to say about it, maybe personal questions of me, and they can be about any topic, either in the comments below, or if you're following my Facebook page, I'm gonna put a post on there on the Facebook page for you to be able to put comments to. Once I get enough, I'm gonna get a handful of those, put them in a little box, and we're gonna go through. I'm gonna go through them, and I'm just gonna talk about the things you want to talk about. So definitely drop that down below, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll be able to do that. Big shout out, by the way, to my middle brother, Drew. It was his birthday, October 16th. I'm super excited for him, man. He's, speaking of time, he's one of those guys that he works his butt off, but he makes the time for the people he cares about too. Right now, he is busting his butt, working hard for his family. He'll be bringing into this world a new baby boy, his first kid, in December, who I'm super excited to meet. And so I'm super excited. Looking forward to next year, making the time for that little booger, and then also my niece, who I love very much, from my little brother, my youngest brother. So I'm super excited, man. This year has been crazy, but I'm super excited for what's to come for the end of the year, and super excited for next year as well. So take care of yourselves, stay humble, make the time for the people you care about, and please, 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 guys, remember, life's short, man. Make it epic. Cheers. That's a wrap.